Welcome to multiplying and dividing rational expressions. Let's get started. Let's multiply these two fractions 5/9 times 3/4 without a calculator. What you end up getting is 15/36. Well, what did we do? We actually multiplied across. 5 times 3 is 15, 9 times 4 is 36. So when you multiply fractions, you multiply across. Now here, when we want to divide fractions, 2/3 divided by 7/8. You have a step before you can multiply across. We want to multiply by the reciprocal. So we have 2/3, and we want to multiply, instead of divide, by the reciprocal of 7/8, which means we flip it. 7/8 became 8/7. So now we can just multiply across. 2 times 8 is 16, and 3 times 7 is 21. So when you multiply fractions, you just multiply the numbers across. When you divide fractions, you have to multiply by the reciprocal. So division becomes multiplication, but you have to remember to flip that second fraction. Then you can multiply across. So let's use those multiplication and division rules when we multiply and divide fractions. We would just have to multiply across. But you can see that's a lot of work. To multiply this times this, you'd have to FOIL it. It would get really big. So the very first thing that you always want to do, and this is on your notes sheet, but I'm going to write it here again, is factor completely. Do not multiply across until you've factored completely. Now, since we've done the factoring review, we know that x squared minus 9 is going to be x plus 3 and x minus 3. That's what it factors to. X squared plus 7x plus 10x will factor to x plus 5 and x plus 2. This is why you got to be really good at your factoring. 4x plus 8 will factor, we can factor 4 out. 4 times x plus 2. And then our x squared plus x minus 12 becomes x plus 4 times x minus 3. So we just factored all of these terms up here. Now your second thing you want to do, and this is the best part because it makes it more simple, is you cross out one numerator and one denominator at a time. So cross out what you can. So what I mean by that is if there's something on the top that's also on the bottom, you can cross it out. So in this case, we have an x minus 3 on the top, and we have an x minus 3 on the bottom, or in the denominator. We can cross those out. So let's look for another one. We have an x plus 2 on the numerator and an x plus 2 in the denominator. Those cancel right out. And that's all we have. We don't have any x plus 3s or 5s or 4s anywhere. So now you do what we did when they were just numbers. You multiply across. And you can leave them in factored form. You can leave them in these parentheses. You don't have to FOIL or anything. So x plus 3 times 4, coming over here. So x plus 3 times 4, and you can just leave the 4 out in front, over x plus 5 times x plus 4. And again, you don't have to FOIL it. You can leave it like this. And this is your answer. So this multiplied by this became right here. Now we're going to divide rationals. Don't forget when we divided our fractions, 2/3 divided by 7/8, we actually multiplied by the reciprocal. So that's the same thing we're going to do here. We want to turn this into multiplication, and we're going to flip this second fraction. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm just rewriting everything for the first fraction because we didn't do anything to that. But our division sign became a multiplication sign, and then our second fraction was flipped. It's the reciprocal. Now we can follow all of the same multiplication rules above. And I know on your paper it says follow the addition rules, but that should be follow the multiplication rules. Which, like just we did on the previous slide, factor first, cross whatever you can out. Remember they have to be one on the numerator and one on the denominator, then multiply across. This makes it a lot easier for you. So I'm going to factor the top, and again, don't forget, we've got to get really good at this factoring. If you still need help, you need to see me. And the bottom will simplify to x plus 8 and x minus 4 times, and this 8x minus 16, we can pull out an 8 from both of those terms, and on the bottom we can take out a 4. Okay. This, we just factored it. Now we want to cross out. We've got an x plus 8 and an x plus 8, one on numerator, one on denominator. And we have an x plus 3 and an x plus 3. And there's nothing else that we can cross out here. Now this 8 and this 4 can be simplified. I can divide 4 by 4 and get 1. So there's nothing there but a 1. I can also divide 8 by 4, and that will become 2. So it's the same thing as if you did 8 divided by 4 is just 2. But if you do it here, it makes it a little easier to multiply across. So now, only thing I have on the top left is a 2 times an x minus 2. I'm going to put this over here. So 2 times the x minus 2. And on the bottom, I just have an x minus 4 and a 1, which is just, you don't have to write the 1 if you don't want to. And there we go. We just divided two rationals. Now on the back you have 4 problems that says try these. You're welcome to try them on your own, but we're also going to do them together in class. That's all. Thanks for watching and see you soon.